Welcome everyone to another video of Vinyl Addict. This is Chili, and this video is Jack White, Gatekeeper. Okay, before I get into this, please don't forget to hit the like button, comment on this video, share this video, and if you still haven't, please subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell for updates. Okay, so with that out of the way, I read this article on Rolling Stone magazine, which I consider a gatekeeper publication, and Jack White was on there, and he was attacking Mel Gibson. And usually these kinds of things, I mean, this is the result of their journalism. It's just kind of like what Dave Mustaine of Megadeth calls sandbox chatter. It's just like, okay, he's saying this, and this, and that. So, first of all, let me just say for one thing, I'm a big fan of Jack White, okay? And first and foremost, I have vinyl records of Jack White, okay? These are from his Third Man Records collection of some of these albums, these continuations of White Blood Cells, D-Style, of course, you got Elephant. One of my favorites from the White Stripes, Get Behind Me, Satan, which is a great one. His solo stuff, he's brilliant, okay? And he has his own label. And even on his own label, I got, the Hateful Eight soundtrack, which is really cool. It's a trifold. I got to, do a video on this because this is really cool. And he has his live series of Third Man Records, and here's one of the Melvins. So I'm big on Jack White, and it seems like just going on publications and doing tweets of just saying kind of like sandbox chatter, name calling, and this and that, and then he turns off the comment section, which I felt was very cowardly. However, here's the article here. So Mark Wahlberg, Guy Fieri, Mel Gibson are all on Jack White's shit list for normalizing Donald Trump. So anybody who normalizes or treats this disgusting fascist, racist con man, disgusting piece of shit Trump, and any level of respect is also disgusting in my book, the musician wrote on Instagram. Okay, so, and his ever-growing shit list grows longer. Now, this is to me a very they live kind of how I view this. If you've ever seen the movie They Live, starring Roddy Piper, and he puts you on the shades. It's an 80s film, right? And you can see things for what they truly are, what they're really saying. And okay, so it's very low level just to go, okay, Trump is this or that, and blah blah blah, and guilty by association. So I don't know what the whole Mark Wahlberg guy thing is, but when I saw Mel Gibson here, okay, it's sort of just like, okay, so he's with Orange Man Bad, so let's just hate Mel Gibson. But what is Mel Gibson doing right now? Okay, he's all over the news regarding this film, Sounds of Freedom, which I have never seen, and is getting a lot of talk about it. And he endorsed it, and he also did the final edit, because it is based on a true story of a person named Tim Ballard, who is a former Homeland Security agent, and he became the CEO of this thing called Operation Underground Railroad, and his organization rescued thousands of trafficking victims, right? So in 2015, he testified before the U.S. Congress, and he met with Trump in 2019 on child trafficking victims and cases or whatever. So this is one of the things that I see when I see this. This is like, okay, I put on my They Live sunglasses on, shades, and I see this is not about Trump. This is not about this or that. To me, this is like, okay, go after Mel Gibson. It's about children, right? So it's just, and this is what Ice Cube was talking about, gatekeepers, and what is Jack White doing now? He's like making music with Beyonce, right? Whatever that song was, Don't Hurt Yourself or whatever. Okay, so that's where he went from garage rock, lo-fi god to strictly analog, this and that. I'm a vinyl guy and this and that. And he's got 12 Grammys and he's making music with Beyonce. All these kind of elitist people that are caught up in Hollywood with this whole pedophile thing, right? So when you're attacking Mel Gibson, this is not about, that's how I see this thing, okay? This is just hate Mel Gibson anyway. Don't see this movie, because I'll get into that. There's a lot to unpack about this shit, okay? Because for one thing, the mainstream media is attacking this film, and it's just about a true story about this Tim Ballard guy rescuing children, okay? Now, another thing about the Mel Gibson thing is that he did fund missions to this Tim Ballard guy, because after Tim Ballard asked him to do the final edit on this film, and he said that was the extent of their relationship. Can you just help me do this and blah blah blah, and then he endorsed it, so he's putting his name up there. Then Mel Gibson also funded him to do these missions in Ukraine. Interesting, right? So the plot thickens, right? So there's like all these children in Ukraine that need help, right? And so of course he's gonna, Mel's gonna fund this guy, and Tim was like, hey, can we just film it? Because at this time, I think Tim thought they were going to make a documentary or Mel was going to make a 4-part documentary on, just Ukraine or the war. But it ends up now, it's supposedly about this trafficking thing, which, your current president is like funding billions of taxpayer money to, right? So, right. It's like you just connect the dots on all this stuff. It's just crazy. So they're trying to, of course, slander Mel Gibson. And it's easy just to go back and go, oh yeah, this is the guy who said sugar tits and all this and that on his drunken night in Malibu. Just all this stupid stuff. However, when you see CNN and all this other mainstream news kind of attacking the film, which is a true story about, some bad stuff like child trafficking. And then they praise a movie like Cuties back in 2020. Remember that film in Netflix? It's 2020, which was about exploiting children and everything like that. They were like 11 to 12-year-old actors, and they're having them dance all provocatively, and CNN and everyone the mainstream news was like, oh, this is a great film and everything like that. But rescuing children is bad. It's just like you kind of see with your They Live sunglasses what's going on. Like, okay, this is bullshit, okay? And so when you have someone like Jack White doing this, of course, and just like, I just see that name, Mel Gibson in this list, I'm just like, oh, okay. Especially now, of course, with the movie coming out and it's beating, it beat Indiana Jones, and now, yeah, because there's a lot of things going on with AMC theaters, right? They're trying to suppress the film. There's I have some links below of just cases of people going to the movie nationwide, and they're just making it very uncomfortable for viewers. Whether they go out there, and you'll see in these clips, like, hey, you want your refund? There's something wrong with the AC here, or they won't turn off the lights. They're making it very uncomfortable for viewers. They don't want people to see it. And that's so weird, right? There are no coincidences. Everyone's in other videos will say, oh, this is a coincidence. No, this is not a coincidence. When it's all throughout the nation, and And then it's talk about timing. Just like, okay, Jack, he gets the call. Okay, say something about this. Here you go. All right, thank you for the Grammys, and putting me on Beyonce's album. I'll do my little part. Here's my tweet. Fuck Mel Gibson. He's a fascist. Da 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 da. Some bullshit, right? Some sandbox chatter, and it really reduces him as a genius to me. Because yes, he's great. It just kind of shows like, this is the guy who made some great music, and just to be reduced to that. Doesn't he have any kind of integrity or any kind of, any kind of, as far as his art is concerned, doesn't he believe in his art alone? I mean, that he doesn't have to subject himself to doing this kind of crap, and yes, it's for me, it's just very sad. And we're living in a time right now where it's like no one's taking this crap, right? No one's gonna watch Indiana Jones and all this kind of woke nonsense that are put into our old favorites, like the iconic Indiana Jones, and just make him look like an idiot, stupid, a loser, just like what Han Solo was depicted as. And all the men are stupid, and this and that, and all the women are smart, and and the Seven Dwarfs, and that new movie coming out, because it's always crap. And then you have a movie. Yeah, the Seven Dwarfs is that is. I just saw pictures of it. It just looks stupid. They're not even dwarves. They're like, oh, they stand just as tall as Snow White, and it has to be, they're all affirmative action hires, right? And so it's just, that's what they focus on. It's not about great stories or movies that could pretty much make an impact on people's lives to want to do something and change something. And I've not seen Sounds of Freedom, but from what I'm hearing, that's what that kind of movie is. And I've sat now and listened to these interviews with Tim Ballard and who this guy is. And so, yes, I'm going to see this film. I'm going to see what the shenanigans are taking place, if there are any. And so with this, where I'm getting at with the Jack White thing is like, are people going to start boycotting certain, you could boycott movies, no one's going to see movies, beer, Target, and, different corporations or anything. It's like, now it's like, okay, well, let's just boycott artists now. I'm not going to buy anything that you do if you support, child trafficking, right? So whether you're doing it inadvertently or, it doesn't matter. I don't see any reason why someone like, if you're a great artist like, say, Prince, or just, you're just really just recording and doing things, and you're just that, on that level. And I always felt like Jack White is kind of like that. He plays drums on Dead Weather, and he's just rocking tours. He's just on all kinds of different things. And now just to make a stupid tweet and get on this shitty publication called Rolling Stone magazine, which is destroyed, and tried to talk down all these great albums from the past, Led Zeppelin, Rush, and it's just ridiculous. And so that's why I'm just like, I'm probably not going to get anything new from Jack White, this kind of stuff right here, because that's how I'm reading this article. That's how I'm reading that. He is like supporting pretty much, by whether it's inadvertently or not. I don't think so. There are no coincidences that this is put out now while this is all going on. Everyone trying to suppress that film and everything. And I'm gonna watch that film with a Jack White t-shirt on. And with that, I'll shut up and leave me a comment below, and let me know what your thoughts are on this. Watch the clips below on the description, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.